This week on Supercars Talk, I show off the new set for the new year. Welcome to 2020. I hope everyone had a happy holidays. As you can see, I've done a little bit of work out here. I've got a new friend to look at while I'm out here. I'll do a special build video separate on this. I'll hopefully post that up at some stage in the not too distant future. But most of you aren't here to hear about what's been happening with that. You're here for some Supercars news. So not a whole lot's happened over the couple of weeks we've had off. People have been busy having holidays and that, I suppose. One team that hasn't is the Kellys. Little bit of news around them. Scott Sinclair is out and he's joined the Supercars Commission. So Scott Sinclair, he was the engineer that was with James Courtney when he won the championship at DJR. He subsequently went with James to HRT, well HRT at the time, Walkinshaw now, and then a couple of years after that he joined the Kellys and he was kind of in a team manager role. I think there's probably a little bit with them downscaling from 4 to 2 cars. Probably didn't quite need so many people working there, you know, maybe a bit of that. Anyway, he's resigned, he's gone to do other things, and he's joined the Supercars Commission. I think he's taking Neil Crompton's position after, it was funnily enough, Neil Crompton and Todd Kelly left the commission mid-year. I think it was around the same time when Triple Eight got that free kick just before Pukekohe that didn't go through the commission. But yeah, so other news relating to the Kellys. Rick is going to join Scott Dixon and some other bloke that I never heard of and can't remember his name in an Aston Martin at the Bathurst 12 Hour. It'll be a Castrol car. Interesting combination. You know, it's not far away. Now for some news on Tickford Racing. They've signed up Brock Feeney for their Super 2 program. Very good pickup there. But this means that Thomas Randall is out at Tickford. He has picked up himself a drive at MW Motorsport. That's Matt White Motorsport. They've been running the Altimas, which had the champion this year in Bryce Forward. Not this year anymore. Last year, 2019, they were the champions. What's interesting is that his sponsor Sky Sands is coming along for the ride. Now, you might wonder why that's interesting. Because Rusty French, who is one of the co-owners at Tickford, he is Sky Sands, so that's his business. He's going to continue sponsoring Thomas at MW Motorsport. Quite interesting. It's nearly like saying, hey, I know my team can't do the job for you, let's put you in somewhere else. Or could it be cheaper to run a program at MW Motorsport than what it is at Tickford? Be interesting to see what kind of sponsorship package is on Brock Feeney's car as well. Whether that's some internal sponsorship or whether Brock's brought some money along. I know Paul Morris has been a big supporter of his over the years, but I don't think Paul tips in his own money. I think he just tips in help and expertise. And Team 18 has finalised their lineups for the Enduros. We'll see Dean Fiore in with Scott Pye and James Goulding in with Mark Winterbottom. So a lot of change there. Both fairly good pickups. Dean Fiore, well, Scott Pye's been doing great things with Warren Luff the last few years, and I can't see Dean Fiore doing a worse job than what Warren Luff has. And James Goulding, better than Stephen Richards now, I would have thought. Not knocking Stephen Richards too much, but probably a little bit past it. Whereas James Goulding, he's still got a long career ahead of him. There was one other announcement of the Enduro driver lineups while we were away, and that is that David Russell is going to join Gary Jacobson at Matt Stone Racing for the endurance races. Not too much to say about this pairing. It's Dave Russell's a safe pair of hands. Gary's a safe pair of hands. No one's going to set the world alight there, but you know, if you've got no money, you can't get the best drivers, can you? Speaking of someone in the opposite end of the money scale, Erebus. They've announced that they might be having 3 cars in 2021. So they've got the great problem. They've signed Decade Dave to his massive 10-year contract. They've got, well, have they got Anton in contract? And they've also signed young Will Brown onto a 2-year contract. He's going to run in their satellite program in the Super 2 this year, 2020. It's going to take me a while to get used to that. And then he's been guaranteed he will have a main game seat in 2021. So what's happening with Anton? Has he got to drive at 888, DJR Team Penske, somewhere else? Or will Erebus end up running 3 cars? Probably when there's an announcement that either Jamie's going to retire or that Scott's going to America, that's probably when we'll find out what's happening with Anton and the 3 cars at Erebus. The only other announcement of any interest over the last couple of weeks, it's been confirmed that the SuperUtes are going to run the mighty LS3 Chev motor in them. Now, I'm a bit biased here because I actually own an SS Commodore with an LS3 in it. I reckon it's a brilliant engine, it's a great car. What I found interesting about this is that since SuperUtes came out, everyone's been complaining, oh, they don't make any noise, those don't sound like the old Utes, complain. Then the first comments on this is that, oh, this is crap because they're not running the engines that come in the cars. This is stupid putting a V8 into, you can't buy one with a V8. People, what do you want? Do you want to see a crappy diesel ute running around slowly, or do we want something that at least sounds and goes a bit alright? I don't get people. To me, I want entertainment. So these things, they did them wrong from the word go. What they should have been is I personally think they should have been similar to the Supercars on a control chassis. All of them have the same chassis. All of them have an LS3 V8 or whatever, and then they're low to the ground, etc. And you put your Triton or BT50 or Hilux or Ranger or whatever body over the top. Everybody's got the same gear underneath. Essentially they're all the same brick driving around the track. So there's no aero or whatever on them. They just look like one of those slammed utes or whatever where, you put the titanium skid plates on them and, you throw the sparks out the back. Not quite that far, but you know what I mean. They look like one of those tough, slammed, kind of show truck things that goes fast, makes a lot of noise, tail happy and whatever. And maybe even make fiberglass bodies for them or whatever, so when they crash into each other it's easy to repair. And anyway, we've got the crap that we have now. They're making them better by putting a V8 into them, so at least they'll kind of go quick and they'll kind of sound alright, although I think the LS3 sounds pretty good. Yeah, so just people, shut up. This is pretty much what you wanted. You got what you wanted. You got the the thing that you could buy off the showroom and then complain about it. So now that we're getting a bit proper race car again, shut up. Let's see how it runs and let's enjoy it for what it is, if it's any good. And on that note, that's the end of episode 1 for 2020. The plans for this year is an episode out every Tuesday of a news, a preview, or a review of the rounds. And then there might be some special videos, kind of intertwined. I know I'm doing one of the build of the set, probably a couple of other things during the year. Generally, I'm going to try and stick to that Tuesday video only each week though. Seems to be a bit of a good format. If you've got any questions or any suggestions, or you know, anything you wanted me to cover, or anything you don't like what I'm doing, or maybe you even like something I'm doing, comments down below, or you know, hit me up on Instagram or something like that. Until next time, I'll see you later.
We can all get lit from a little goose. I know you're terrified by what the future lies.